Hi there, I'm Kyna. I haven't done a video blog in a long time because I didn't have a laptop for a long time for me to put things on. And now I do, so here I am. I don't really have anything super interesting to say, besides hello. I do have a little bit of a story from yesterday, just in case you want to hear it. I went to a hiring staffing class. I think I mentioned that yesterday morning. Anyway, it's been 10 years since I've been in a classroom, so it was kind of crazy to go in there and do that. But it was like a free class, something to help me better me as a manager at work. Anyway, so went to the class, and the thing about the classroom dynamic is it never changes. It never does. It doesn't matter how old you get. It doesn't matter what kind of class you're taking. The classroom dynamic is always the same. You always have the same types of people in your class, no matter how old you get. Anyway, so there was this one guy in the class, huge douche. He was so loud and obnoxious that you wonder how somebody got that way. Although I kind of probably know how he got that way. He was a career Marine. I live in a Marine town, so there's a lot of them here, but man, good old school, good old boy Marine. Anyway, I don't even know why he came to the class. Like I said, it was free. It wasn't like he was paying for it. Dude spent the entire time arguing with the instructor. Like, I'm better than you. I'm gonna argue with you. It's like, dude, why are you even here? Anyway, and I don't even think he was forced to come for any reason, but there was a section where they were talking about resumes. And basically the instructor was saying, you know, when you hand in a resume or an application, that's not really the best way to hire people. The guy's like, no. I handled thousands of applications every year, and that's a great way to find employees, because what else are you gonna do? And so this was the time where I decided to speak up. I work for a large bookstore. I'm not going to say the name. I'm sure you can guess what it is. And talk about thousands of applications that we get every year. Especially in the town I live in, there's not a lot of great places to work unless you work for the healthcare field or you're a Marine. So, I mean, a lot of people want to work at my bookstore. And I spoke up and I said, well, actually, you know, unless you come in and talk to me, and I ask you a couple questions, feel you out, that sort of thing. Not feel you up, feel you out. There's time for that later. Anyway, then I don't know who you are. You're just a name on a page. The guy was just like, I hired thousands of guys over the years, and that's the best way to find them. And the guy kept saying guys. Guy. Because I guess in his branch of the Marines, they didn't really have women for probably most of the time he was in, because he was older. Anyway, just couldn't believe the level of douche that this guy exuded. So, anyway, he wouldn't even let me get a word in edgewise. I'm like, fine, whatever. Let the guy talk. He was complaining the entire 10-minute break. I could hear him out in the hallway. Whatever. Anyway, there was another girl in the class, too. And she was just as irritating as that guy, but in a different way. She was so incredibly stupid. I don't like to use that term, but yikes. I mean, just whistle in one ear and you'll blow out the other type of thing. Anyway, hi, she talked like this. Really? Oh, okay. So, I don't understand why you'd say something like that. I don't get, can you just, like, explain? And, like, dude, when he wasn't wasting time in the class arguing, she was wasting time being stupid. Yikes, the pair of them. Anyway, we had to do a little bit of role-playing. And a couple of people volunteered first for other ones, and the instructor was like, well, this one's a little different. I kind of have to watch who I give these parts to because it's a little bit... And of course, immediately I was like, I'll do it. And the guy's like, well, the first part is a Walmart executive, so spoken like a true executive, and he hands me the piece of paper. I had a feeling when I took that part, I knew it. Immediately. Douchey guy. No, I'll take the other part. I just knew he was going to. Anyway, because he'd been kind of challenging me the whole time, and he could probably see the look on my face when he was being a sexist fucking pig. I'm not the biggest feminist on the planet, but dude, this guy was sexist, racist, classist, every ist you can imagine this guy was. So, basically this was a real scenario that happened at some point in an interview between a Walmart executive and the applicant. And the applicant's role, basically he was just an asshole. Perfect for this douchey guy, by the way. I can't even believe, I was just like, anyway. And the guy was ad-libbing the whole time. He was ad-libbing more douche into the douche of this character, or this real person that actually existed. Anyway, it was questions like, and what's your education? Yes. And sex? Yes, please. That type of guy. You know, what are your ambitions in 5 years? To live with a hot, naked blonde in the Bahamas. That type of thing. Anyway, so the moral of that story was, when we got to the end, this dude even ad-libbed asking me out, by the way, which was, Jesus Christ, if he was the last fucking swinging dick on the planet, I would fucking never have sex again. Anyway, that's how distasteful this person is. So we get to the end, and it turns out that the real applicant was hired. And the guy that I went with, the other assistant manager at my store, was just like, yikes, I would have never hired that guy. And I guess the HR representative from Walmart probably thought he was funny and was original, blah, 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 but I'm like, dude, that guy's an HR nightmare. Stupid girl next to me goes, but he's just being funny. He's just being original. I would have totally hired him. And I'm just like, yeah, because that's what you want in your Walmart greeter. Hey, welcome to Walmart. Nice boobs. I mean, it was ridiculous. And anyway, just her and douchey guy were just so unreal. They were like cartoon characters. Anyway, douchey guy ended up getting upset at something else that the instructor said, because the guy was just like, well, if I pay an employee more, they're gonna work harder for me. And the instructor was like, no, that's not how it works. Even a person who's working a minimum wage can work really super hard. And the guy didn't agree. And he's just like, well, you get more quality people if you're offering them more money. You know, basically saying that if you work at Walmart, McDonald's, or even my bookstore, you're just basically dirt, is what you are, is what the guy was saying. He's like, well, if I took one of those guys and I didn't pay him well enough, I took him to Iraq, he'd start, like, raping people. Dude broke out the word rape in the class. First of all, what he even said was just like, I can't believe that actually formed in your brain and came out your mouth. It was crazy. The instructor stopped the class and he was like, I feel so sorry for you and your workers if you actually think these things. And the guy was just like, that's how I think. This is just, you know, when you're hiring guys, and guys. Anyway, dude ended up leaving like 10 minutes before the class. It was super, class ended, he was just super disrespectful. I just couldn't believe it. I wanted to ask the instructor after, I was like, do you have to teach many people like that? I went back to the store afterwards and told my boss all about this guy, and my boss was like, I wish I'd been there to see that. It was absolutely unreal. Anyway, sparked a conversation between my roommate and I last night when we were out getting a couple of pints, and I was like, how come some douches are just lovable? I don't care how douchey they are, you like them anyway. It's just like, they're just lovable douchey guys, and that's who they are, and you accept them for it. And then there are other guys, and women, I mean, women can be douchey too, where you go, how in the fuck did you ever become like that? How can you even be in charge of yourself? How do you wake up every day and open your mouth and think the things you say are okay? And I mean, I'm an easy laugh. I'm always laughing all the time. And guys like that guy, it was like, I find absolutely nothing funny about you. And that's probably the worst insult I could tell somebody. I find nothing funny about you. I wish I would never ever come across you ever again. Anyway, that's my story. Nice to meet you guys if you are new and haven't seen me speak before. And I hope y'all enjoy your day. And talk to you later.